Hi everybody. I wanted to show you a little bit about one of the things you're going to have to do in Edulastic. So Edulastic is the way you're going to be completing practice problems and IFs and FAs. So specifically, one of our learning targets, or a couple of them, require you to create models of chemistry concepts. And what we're going to use are these tools up here, and they're called the Scratch Pad. And we're going to use that to be able to basically create drawings and things like that. So I wanted to give you a quick rundown. So I've just got a simple question here. It says, create a drawing of something you've eaten recently. And the other night, we had pizza. So I'm going to draw a pizza slice. Now, pizza is typically triangular slice. So first thing I'm going to do is click the triangle drawing tool and draw a triangle. And notice over here we've got some options. The fill color is red and the border color is red as well. And notice also here you've got a number. So first of all, pizza isn't typically red. It's orangish, yellow, depending on how you like your cheese and things like that. But I'm going to use this image to represent the crust of the pizza. And notice like when I changed the fill color, it was only the filling that changed. And I also need to change the color of the border. So I'm going to do that as well. Try and click on some kind of orange that's relatively similar and go from there. There we go. Notice you can also change the transparency of those things. And you can also change the thickness of the border. So different sizes border. So 2 or I think it defaults to 3. So, but we'll leave that. And here we go. So I'm starting to draw my pizza. And so another thing I want to do is I can lay an image on top of another one. So click back on the triangle. And I'm just going to draw another triangle right on top of this one. And notice it looks exactly the same, but what I want to do is change the color. So I'm going to go with like a yellowish color to kind of represent the cheese of this pizza. And let's try and get the border to match. There we go. That looks good. And oops. So now I want to be able to move this piece, this yellow triangle, but notice it's the plus sign. So that, if I click, it's going to start drawing another triangle. What I want to do is go back to the cursor so that now I have just the pointer arrow. And I can click on this triangle and move it around. And I'm going to move it on top here so that it looks kind of like the crust of, or the cheese of the pizza. And you can also change the shape of it. If you grab any of these corners, you can move it around. Maybe we can make it a little bit bigger and slide it over. There we go. And notice I have this little yellow thing here that I accidentally drew. What I want to show you now is the delete tool. You could always use undo to do something that you just did, to undo something you just did. Or you could use this delete, this trash can thing. So if I click on this, it doesn't really change anything, but now what I've got to do is click on the thing I want to delete. So if I click on that object, it deleted it. Now let's go back to the cursor. Now the next thing I want to do is to draw pepperonis on my pizza. Pepperonis are circular shaped, so you have two options. You could use the circle, and you could draw a bunch of red circles, changing our color around so that it matches the color of pepperoni. And you could do that a bunch of times. Or what you could do is you could click on the drawing tool and change the size of the cursor. So see here I've got a pretty large spot that I can draw. Now if I just click, it looks like I'm kind of like I'm drawing pepperonis. That might be a little small. And if you didn't like those, you could do the undo button. Click on that and it will undo those in the order that you did them. Or you could redo them, put them back, whichever you like. So these are some of the key features when using the draw tool. Other things you can do is draw lines. So you can draw a line. You can also draw squares. You can change those. You can fill them with green if you wanted, or if you wanted the filling to go away, you could change whatever color that was to transparent. And that would essentially make it white. And so you can change a lot of that stuff. We've already seen triangles. You can put in text boxes. So let's say I wanted to put a text box right here. That's what the ABC is for. So you click there and let's just type pizza. Right? And notice that you can change the font, you can change the color, that text box you can change the fill color of, all kinds of stuff that you can do here. You can also enter math equations. So here's a math equation that you can do. That's what the square root x is. So if we click on that and then click in here, you can add math. So let's say you needed to add a math equation, 45 times 0.20, maybe to figure out the tip, equals, right? And you've got all kinds of math functions here too. You you've got matrices, you've got intermediate math, you've got trigonometry, you've got geometry stuff you can add. You can even add base units, which we'll be using in class, grams or centimeters or milliliters, things like that. So you've got a lot of different options there for math. And then finally, you've got measurement tools. So if you needed to make sure things were the appropriate length to each other or at the right angle, you could add this metric ruler and this protractor here. And then again, to get rid of them, you click the trash can and delete them. Right? We can delete a bunch of these other things too, since we don't need them. So that's a quick rundown of using the scratch pad to essentially draw your answers, which you'll be required to do.